Meditation of the things of which we meditate. And several years have now elapsed since he first became aware that he had accepted, even from my youth, many false opinions for true. And that consequently what he afterward based on such principles was highly doubtful, and from that time he was convinced of the necessity of undertaking in my life to rid myself of all the opinion he had adopted, and of commencing a new work of building from the foundation, if he desired to establish a firm and abiding superstructure in the science. But à this enterprise appeared to me to be one of great magnitude. He waited until he had attained an age so mature as to leave me no hope that at any stage of life more advanced he should be better able to execute my design. On this account, he have delayed so long that he should henceforth consider he was doing wrong were he still to consume in deliberation any of the time that now remains for action. Today, then, since he have opportunely freed my mind from all cares and am happily disturbed by no passion, and since I am in the secure possession of leisure in a peaceable retirement, I will at length apply myself earnestly and freely to the general overthrow of all my former opinion. Debut, to this end, it will not be necessary for me to show that the whole of these are false points, perhaps, which I shall never reach. But as even now my reason convinces me that I ought not the less carefully to withhold belief from what is not entirely certain and indubitable, than from what is manifestly false. It will be sufficient to justify the rejection of the whole if I shall find in each some ground for doubt. Nor for this purpose will it be necessary even to deal with each belief individually, which would be truly an endless labor, but as a removal from below of the foundation necessarily involves the 22 Meditation of the things of which we meditate. Downfall of the whole edifice, I will at once approach the criticism of the principles on which all my former beliefs rested. 3. All that I have, up to this moment, accepted the possessed of the highest truth and certainty, I received either from or through the senses. I observed, however, that this sometimes misled us, and it is the part of prudence not to place absolute confidence in that by which we have even once been deceived. 4. But it may be said, perhaps, that, although the senses occasionally mislead us respecting minute objects, and such as are so far removed from us as to be beyond the reach of close observation, there are yet many other of their information presentations of the truth of which it is manifestly impossible to doubt, as for example, that I am in this place, seated by the fire, clothed in a winter dressing gown, that I hold in my hands this piece of paper, with other intimation of the same nature. But awaked, I deny that I possess these hands and this body, and without escape. Being classed with persons in a state of insanity, whose brain are so disordered and clouded by dark bilious vapors as to cause them pertinaciously to assert that they are monarchs when they are in the greatest poverty, or clothed in gold and purple when destitute of any covering, or that their head is made of clay, their body of glass, or that they are gore. I should certainly be not less insane than they, were I to regulate my procedure according to examples so extravagant. 5. Though this be true, I must nevertheless here consider that I am a man, and that, consequently, I am in the habit of sleeping, and representing to myself in dreams those same things, or even Sometimes others less probable, wish the insane thing are presented to them in their waking moment. How often have he dreamt that he was in these familiar circumstances, that he was dressed and occupied this place by the fire, when he was lying undressed in bed? At the present moment, however, he certainly look upon this paper with his wide awake, the head which he now movies not asleep, he extend this unconsciously and with express purpose, and he perceive it, the occurrences in sleep are not so. Méditation I, of the things of which we made out 23. Distinct as all this. But he cannot forget that, at other times he have been deceived in sleep by similar illusion, and, attentively considering those cases, he perceives so clearly that there exist no certain marks by which the state of waking can ever be distinguished from sleep, that he feel greatly astonished, and in amazement he almost persuade myself that I am now dreaming. This let us suppose, then, that we are dreaming, and that all these particulars, namely, the opening of the eye, the motion of the head, the fortputting of the hands, are merely illusion, and even that we really possess neither an entire body nor hands such as we see. Nevertheless, it must be admitted at least that the objects which appear to us in sleep are, as it were, painted representations, which could not have been formed unless in the likeness of realities, and, therefore, that those general objects, at all events, namely, a head, hands, and an entire body, are not simply imaginary, but really exist. For, in truth, painters themselves, even when they study to represent sirens and satyrs by forms the most fantastic and extraordinary, cannot bestow upon them nature absolutely new, but can only make a certain medley of the members of different animals, or if they chance to imagine something so novel that nothing at all similar has ever been seen before, and such as this. Therefore, purely fictitious and absolutely false, it is at least certain that the color of which this is composed are real, and on the same principle, although these general objects, viz. A body, eye, a head, hands, and the like, be imaginary, we are nevertheless absolutely necessitated to admit the reality at least of some other objects still more simple and universal than these, of which, just as of certain real color, all those images of things, whether true and real, or false and fantastic, that are found in our consciousness, cogitatio, are formed. Said to this class of objects seem to belong corporeal nature in general and its extension, the figure of extended things, their quantity or magnitude, and their number, as also the place in, and the time during, which they exist, and other things of the same sort. 8. We will note, therefore, perhaps reason illegitimately if we 24 Meditations on First Philosophy. Conclude from this that physics, astronomy, medicine, and all the other sciences that have for their end the consideration of composite objects, are indeed of a doubtful character, but that arithmetic, geometry, and the other sciences of the same class, which regard merely the simplest and most general objects, and scarcely inquire whether or not these are really exist, contain somewhat that is certain and indubitable, for whether I am awake or dreaming, it remains true that 2 and 3 make 5, and that a square has but 4 sides, nor does it seem possible that truth so apparent quand ever fall under a suspicion of falsity or incertitude. 9. Nevertheless, the belief that there is a God who is all powerful and who created me, such I am, has, for a long time, obtained steady possession of my mind. How, then, do I know that he has not arranged that there should be neither earth, nor sky, nor any extended thing, nor figure, nor magnitude, nor place, providing at the same time, however, for the rising me of the perception of all these objects, and the persuasion that these do not exist otherwise than I perceive them. And further, I sometimes think that others are in error respecting matters of which they believe themselves to possess a perfect knowledge. How do I know that I am not also deceived each time I add together 2 and 3? Or number the sides of a square, or form some judgment still more simple, if more simple indeed can be imagined. But perhaps that I has not been willing that he should be thus deceived, for he is said to be supremely good. If, however, it were repugnant to the goodness of that he to have created me subject to constant deception, it would seem likewise to be contrary to his goodness to allow me to be occasionally deceived, and yet it is clear that this is permitted. This some, indeed, might perhaps be found who would be disposed rather to deny the existence of a being so powerful than to believe that there is nothing certain. Bullet US for the present refrain from opposing this opinion, and grant that all which is here said of a that he is fabulous, nevertheless, in whatever way it be supposed that he reach the state in which he exists, whether by fate, or chance, or by an endless series of antecedents and consequences, or by any other meditation of the things of which we made out 25. Means, it is clear, seems to be deceived and to err is a certain defect. That the probability of my being so imperfect as to be the constant victim of deception, will be increased exactly in proportion as the power possessed by the cause, to which they assign my origin, is lessened. To this reasoning they have assuredly nothing to reply, but am constrained at last to avow that there is nothing of all that he formerly believed to be true, of which it is impossible to doubt, and that not through thoughtlessness or levity, but from cogent and maturely considered reasons, so that henceforward, if he desire to discover anything certain, he ought not the less carefully to refrain from assenting to those some opinion than to what might be shown to be manifestly false. 11. But it is not sufficient to have made this observation, care must be taken likewise to keep them in remembrance. For those all and customary opinion perpetually recurrent and familiar usage giving them the right of occupying my mind, even almost against my will, and subduing my belief, nor will I lose the habit of deferring to them and confiding in them so long as I shall consider them to be what in truth they are, viz., opinion to some extent doubtful, as I have already shown, but still highly probable, and such as it is much more reasonable to believe than deny. It is for this reason I am persuaded that I shall not be doing wrong, if, taking an opposite judgment of deliberate design, I become my own deceiver. By supposing, for a time, that all those opinions are entirely false and imaginary, until at length, having thus balanced my all by my new prejudices, my judgment shall no longer be turned aside by perverted usage from the path that may conduct to the perception of truth. For I am assured that, meanwhile, there will arise neither peril nor error from this course, and that he cannot for the present yield too much to distrust, since the end in our seek is not action but knowledge. Do he will suppose, then, not that he, who is sovereignly good, and the fountain of truth, but that some malignant demon, who is at on exceedingly potent and deceitful, has employed audacious artifice to deceive me, he will suppose that the sky, the air, the earth. 26 Meditations on First Philosophy. Color, figure, sounds, and all external things, are nothing better than the illusion of dreams, by means of which this being has lay snares for my credulity. I will consider myself as without hands, eye, flesh, blood, or any of the senses, and a falsely believing that I am possessed of these. I will continue resolutely fixed in this belief, and if indeed by this means it be not in my power to arrive at the knowledge of truth, I shall at least do what is in my power, viz., suspend my judgment, and guard with settled purpose against giving my as to what is false, and being imposed upon by this deceiver, whatever be his power and artifice. But this undertaking is arduous, and a certain indolence insensibly leads me back to my ordinary course of life, and just as a captive, who, perchance, was enjoying in his dreams an imaginary liberty, when he begins to suspect that it is but a vision, dreads awakening, and conspires with the agreeable illusion that the deception may be prolonged, so I, of my own accord, fall back into the train of my former beliefs, and fear to arouse myself from my slumber, lest the time of laborious wakefulness that would succeed this rest, in place of bringing any light of day, should prove inadequate to dispel the darkness that will arise from the difficulties that have now been raised.